So that's the way things go. Okay, I'll turn it back to you, W8WHK 73.
Hey, Bill. Next up is Charles from Syracuse, New York, KD2YUY. Morning, Vic. Morning, everybody listening in on the Brew Crew. Morning, Vicky. Yeah, growing up during the space race, had to be an astronaut. Ended up in the fire service. 73, all back to that control, KD2YUY. Let's slash on this roll. We got to go up to the top here a little bit. KC0EQA. What'd you want to be, Doug, when you were a young child?
I don't know. Probably what I'm doing now. Doing computer work, IT work. Always like to mess with computers and do math and all that stuff, so it was always that fun. Anyway, back to net, KC0EQA.
Good morning, this is Vicky, K8VKY. We still got on here NE2B, N5CHB, N0CKV, and W2RBC. But first we'll take some more check-ins, twice and slowly, please.
November Alpha 1 Bravo Echo. November Alpha 1 Bravo Echo. Whiskey Bravo 5, India Tango Tango, WB5ITC. November 9 Echo Hotel Tango and 98C. Good morning, in and out.
November Whiskey 4, Quebec, NW4Q.
Tango 6 Kilo to November 2 Victor Lima Kilo.
November 8 Romeo Whiskey Foxtrot, that's N8RWF. Please check me in and out, that's in and out. Good morning, Vicky.
Victor Alpha 3 Kilo Tango Juliet. Victor Alpha 3 Kilo Tango Juliet.
Got a pretty good list. We've also got NA1BE, WB5ITT, N9EHT, in and out, NW4Q, K2TV, N2VLK, N8RWF, in and out, VA3, KTJ. Starting at the top, NA2B. Good morning, Charlie. NA2B, are you still with us?
Vicky, I think it's November Alpha 1 Bravo Echo, over.
Well, you're further down the list, but first we did have Charlie. But maybe he was in and out. We'll get to you in a minute. Next up, N5CHB. Chuck, good morning.
Good morning, Vicky. Thank you for running the net. As a kid, I always wanted to be a middle-level manager, underpaid at a big company, and I made it. Put me down for pilot. Have a great day. N5CHB.
I bet if you tried really hard, you could be a middle manager pilot. Next up, Ed0 CKV. Good morning.
Morning, Vicky. Dick the Brew. I wanted to be a brain surgeon until college chemistry changed my mind, and I ended up being an electrical engineer. Today is a special day for me. It's my birthday. N0 CKV, back to net.
Ironically, I think the biggest difference between a brain surgeon and an electrician is the attire. Next up, Randy, W2 RBC.
Good morning, Vicki, Dick, and everyone on the Morning Brew. For as long as I can remember, I always wanted to be an engineer. In my early teens, I decided on electronics. Back to Nut Control, 73 to all, W2, RBC.
Thank you, Randy. And next up, Barry, NA1BE.
Good morning, Vicky. Good to the rest of the net. I wanted to be a pharmacist. I liked mixing chemicals or a chemist, either one, but I enjoyed that very much in my early years. Currently mobile, I guess, in Istanbul, Turkey. Glad I'm making it into the net, and I thank you for taking my call. November Alpha 1, Bravo Echo.
All right, we got you for pharmacist. Next up, Chris, WB5ITT.
Good morning, Vicky, and the rest of the net, and happy birthday to N0CKW there. In fact, I got one coming up in a couple of weeks. I changed my idea of what I wanted to be so many times. I think the first choice was become an airline pilot, join the Air Force, and then become a pilot. I flew with my dad, and he let me take the controls of 11, and it was just such an exhilarating fun. But after my dad passed away, and being a fat tubbo kid in my early teens, well, so much for the Air Force. And then got into radio broadcasting, wanted to be a world famous disc jockey, yeah, right. Maybe, well, not anymore. And then got into college, studied for electrical engineering, but the radio stations were more fun to hang out at, so, what happens there. And then got into telecommunications, and pretty much been there ever since. But, deal with radio and television as well. Anyhow, enough of the rambling. Hope everybody's having a good Wednesday morning. WB5ITT back to them.
All right, thanks for stopping by, Chris. Jim, NW4Q. Good morning.
Good morning, Vicky. Growing up, I wanted to be a musician. Get to play every day. Thank you.
I think you're our first musician. Next up, K2 TV.
Good morning, Vicky, and good morning to the Brew Crew. Well, I was always fascinated by radio and television broadcasting, especially radio broadcasting. Wanted to be an engineer, and guess what? I got my wish. Spent 40 years with the CBS television network in New York City, and loved every minute of it. I'd do it again if I had the chance. It was a great career. That's it. Everybody have a great day. This is K2TV.
Thank you, Bob. Jeff, N2BLK. What did you want to be as a kid?
Good morning, Vicky. Good morning, everybody. N2VLK. When I was young, I wasn't sure. I wanted to be a firefighter or a police officer or something like that. And in 1981, I got hired at the airport, and I was a police officer, an aircraft rescue firefighter, and an emergency medical technician for 26 and a half years. So I guess I got my wish. And with that, I'll turn it back to you. Have a great day, N2VLK.
Thanks for stopping by. VA3KTJ.
Good morning, Vicky and everyone on the net. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a scientist. Actually, I have worked in various engineering and scientific research areas through my career. Everyone have a great day. 73 to all. This is V3KTJ. That's the net control.
And our first scientist, thank you, Jen, so I can't talk this morning. Rick, N5GI.
Well, good morning, Vicky, and everybody on the Brew Crew. Gee, thinking about what did I want to be when I grew up? Well, I think I got there. Wanted to always be in upper management and program management and RF engineering and a pilot, and I've done all that. So I've had a great career. Back to net, N5GI.
It's a little box. We went with management. Thanks for stopping by. Next up, Don, W4TPX.
Good morning, Vicky. Everybody on the Brew Crew this morning. Originally growing up, I wanted to be an Indian, but that didn't happen. And I wanted to be a cop, but that didn't happen. Ended up being a federally airframe and power plant mechanic. Worked for a major airline for a lot of years. 7-3, hope everybody has a great W4PPX. Vicky.
Thank you, Don. And last on this list, and then we'll take some more seconds, is KJ4ZFM.
Record 3, Tango Golf, November. Victor Record 3, Tango Golf, November.
I got you on the list, Jim, but we're not taking check-ins quite yet. Robert, KJ4ZFM, are you still there?
Yes, I am. Good morning, Miss Vicky. I hope everyone has a great day today. The answer to the question is, it took a long time for it to happen. I wanted to actually be a race car driver. I grew up here in the Northeast and always wanted to, but I didn't get an opportunity to actually drive a race car until 2005 when I moved down to Daytona Beach, Florida. So that was my dream. Thank you very much, and I hope everyone has a blessed day.
Thank you, Robert. This is Vicky, K8VKY. We have, on this list, we have KI5PMI and VE3TJN, and taking more seconds, twice and slowly, please.
Kilo Charlie 5, Charlie Zulu X-ray, KC5CZX. In and out, please.
Kilo Delta 5, Zulu Papa Tango. Kilo Delta 5, Zulu Papa Tango. Echo Link Mobile in and out. Good morning, Miss Vicky.
Delta 2.
Good morning,
Delta 2. Echo 2. Delta 2.
Mike, Cheryl, in and out. Good morning to all. 2, Golf, Golf. Papa 2, Golf, Golf.
Okay, well there were only about 5 people in that pile up. I did get MP2GG, KE2CER, KD5ZPT in and out, KC5CZX in and out. And of course we still had VE3, GGN, and KI5PMI. Try again please, twice and so.
KD2 UGQ, Kilo Delta 2, Uniform Golf Quebec, Mike and Shirley.
Okay, 2, Juliet, Michael, X-ray, Kilo, Delta 2, Juliet, Michael, X-ray, Terry.
Alright, I got KD2 JMX, KR4 CKC, KF8 DRJ, and I believe I said the other ones, including KD2 UGQ. Back up to the top, KI5 PMI. Bill, what did you want to be when you were a kid?
Good morning, Vicky and everybody on the brew. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a farmer. My family was farming, but the economy of the late 70s and early 80s took care of that, so I just work for a municipality now. Hope everybody has a great day. KI5 PMI, back to net.
Thank you, Bill. Tim, VE3 TGS. Tim from Windsor, are you still with us?
Yes, good morning, Vicky and everybody on the crew. VE3 TCS, Tim from Windsor here. I went to school for management accounting. Turned out I didn't like that. I ended up doing the job that I swore up and down as a teenager I'd never do, which was what my father did, locomotive engineer. Having retired from it after 36 years, it's the best job I could have ever had. Back to net.
All right, thank you, Tim. Next up, Skip, KE2CER.
Good morning, Vicky and everybody on the brew crew. Watching all those westerns, I always wanted to grow up to be a cowboy, but that never happened. But retired from being a 911 dispatcher, so, a very interesting career. And back to you, KE2CER.
Thank you. And P2GG Doug, good morning.
This is all the sciences, especially the life sciences, and ultimately became the physician. Have a great day, everybody, and P2GG.
A little bit noisy, but we got you for scientists. Thanks for stopping by. Next up, Mike, KD2UGQ.
Good morning to everybody on the Morning Brew. I'm mobile, so hopefully I'm not going in and out. When I was a kid growing up, I read books on Tesla, and I wanted to create or build something that was completely unique in electronics and that. But as it turned out, I kind of did get into electronics pretty good. This is KD2UGQ, back to net control, and good morning to all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. And next up, Doug, KF8 TRJ. When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
When I was good morning, Vicky, everybody out there, and everybody on the crew. I actually did. I was 12 years old, and I used to go to the nearby Radio Shack and buy all the kits and everything they had. The manager knew me by name. Everybody joked that I would be a Radio Shack manager. By age 19, I started working part-time at a Radio Shack, and by 21, I was a manager of a store in St. Petersburg, Florida. And at 25, I was the manager of one of the largest stores in West Central Florida. Didn't stick with it, because after a while, retail took its toll on me, but it was a joke in the family that everybody knew when I was a kid I would be a Radio Shack manager. So there you have it. Back to you, Vicky. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks for stopping by. Bill, KR4, CKC.
Good morning, Vicky, and the rest of the brew. I've always wanted to be, dreamt that I did, to be a pilot. And later years, I became a pilot. I have just retired as a pilot. So that was it. KR4CKC. You all have a great day.
I think that makes you pilot number 7. Next up, KD2JMX.
Good morning, everyone on the Brew crew, and good morning to Vicky. Growing up, never really knew exactly what I wanted to do. Graduated high school and found myself joining the volunteer fire department, and that kind of got my interest. So I went to college and got an in fire protection technology, which also certified me as a fire and arson investigator. So figured I'd try becoming a fire marshal, took the local civil service test, and so did 26,000 other people. Even though I did good on the test, I still wound up way at the bottom of the list. So I applied for a train conductor position on the Long Island Railroad. And while I was in training for that, I got a letter from a town here on Long Island offering me a position as a fire marshal, but pay was not as good as I expected. So I'm still a volunteer firefighter for 30 years, but now my career is a train conductor on the Long Island Railroad.
Hi, thanks for stopping by. Last on this list, Dan, KD5RRJ.
This is KD5RRJ, and that's a fun question. Appreciate you picking me up, and good morning to all the brew crew there. And I really didn't have a set one. It changed from week to week, and I got a phone call coming in. So just depending on what TV shows I was watching, and sometimes I wanted to be a motorcycle cop watching Chips, and yeah, it just changed week to week from firefighter to whatever. So I never did have it really any one thing I wanted to be. I wanted to do it all. And of course you can't do it all. You got to make decisions, and that's the bad thing about being an adult. This is KD5RRJ. Back to net.
Alright, thanks for stopping by. This is Vicky, K8VKY. And next up is LK8BAC. I'm sorry. BAC, sorry, looking at the wrong thing. But we'll get them started, so take some more check-ins, twice and slowly, please.
Kilo 9 Delta Quebec Mobile. Kilo 9 Delta Quebec Mobile.
Victor Echo 3, Golf November. Victor Echo 3, Tango Golf November 2, Windsor, Ontario, Canada.
W2CJM Mobile. Kilo 5, Papa, 5, engage.
KE2GAT. KEGAT. In and out.
Kilo Juliet 5 Delta X-Ray Bravo. Kilo Juliet 5 Delta X-Ray Bravo.
Whiskey Delta 8, Papa India Charlie. Whiskey Delta 8, Papa India Charlie.
KR4 COH. Kilo Romeo 4 Charlie Oscar Hotel. No traffic. Top of the morning to the brew. In and out.
Well, that's a good little list to get me going. Morning, everybody. This is Al, KABAC. Calling Vicky, KABKY, logging for me. She's multitasking today, too. I see that. Got a good list. Let's acknowledge our in and outs first. KR4COH, Hector, Jacksonville, North Carolina. Got KE2GAT, Walter, Lynbrook, New York. And we got K5MPH, Michael, Brownsville, Texas. They were all in and out. Thanks for sticking your head in and saying good morning, guys. Appreciate that. From the bottom up, we had WD8PIC, Bob, just south of me in Sylvania, Ohio. KJ5DXB, Frank in Sugar Land, Texas. The KD9YUZ, Jimmy in Wakarusa, checking in via text. We had W2CJM, Charles in Selby, New York. N8HLN, Mike, Grosse Pointe Park, Michigan. VE3TGN, Tim in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. We had K9DQ, Al in Clarkston, Michigan. He's mobile. We'll get you in just a second, Al. KE2EGF, Ivan, Gasport, New York. Question of the day. When you were a child, what do you want to be when you grew up? We're not going to accept the answer lumberjack, because we all know that's a Monty Python skit. So let's go to KD9Q, Al in Clarkston, Michigan, who's mobile this morning. Good morning, Al. When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Hey, everybody. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a pilot, which didn't happen. I wanted to be a captain, which also did not happen. I don't know, it might have been the uniform that kind of attracted me to those careers, but I ended up with something that I love. I'm in cybersecurity now, and I love it. So, good morning all, 73, and back to you, Net Control. This is K9DQ.
Alrighty, thank you, Al. Have a great day. And guys, I was just kidding about the lumberjack thing. If that's what you wanted to be, that's what you wanted to be. Let's go to KE2EGF, Ivan, Gasport, New York. Good morning, Ivan.
Days I've been thinking about meteorologist and electrical engineer. If I had to pick, it'd probably be meteorologist. I do have a lot of gear for that. Scouting, spotter, trained. I've done a lot of stuff with that. So, yeah, put me down for meteorologist. This is K2EGF, Net Control, 73.
All right, Ivan. Have a good day. Good luck with that. That's a noble field. I'll tell you that right now. Let's go to VE3. TGN, Tim in Windsor, Ontario. Good morning, Tim.
Everybody on the brew there. Well, when in my younger years I was a cadet in the Royal Canadian Cadets, my thing was I wanted to be a pilot with the RCAF and commissioned by Queen Elizabeth II there. And that was my dream, but not. I was a passenger in a motor. I lost the sight in my right eye. I'm totally deaf on my right side, and I was paralyzed months or longer and learned to walk at 16. So
It wasn't meant to be. Back to net control. B3 TGN, Windsor, Ontario. Sir, thanks for picking me up. Back to net control.
Alrighty, thank you, Tim. Have a great day. Enjoy. Let's go to N8HLN Mike in Grosse Pointe Park, Michigan. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Al, Vicky, and the crew. Back when I was a young one, I wanted to be a doctor. I actually did my career paper in high school on that. Then I went into, in college, I studied mechanical engineering and eventually followed in my father's footsteps and became a steam engineer. That's my story. 73, have a great day to everyone. Back to net control, N8HLN.
All right, thank you, Mike. You have a great day. Let's go to W2CJM Charles in Selden, New York. Good morning, Charles.
Good morning, Al, Vicky, everybody on the crew. At a very young age, I knew I wanted to become an electrician, which is what I did. I started out after high school, went to the union. From there, took a job on the Long Island Railroad as an electrician, fixed all the trains, have a master electrician's license, and that's what I'm doing today. Thanks for doing that.
All righty, thank you, Charles. You went right through the whole program then, right out of school. That's a good thing. Let's go to Jimmy over in Wakarusa, KD9YUZ. Good morning, Jimmy.
Good morning, Al and Vicky and Dick and everybody on the net. What I wanted to be from when I was a real little kid was a farmer, and I did attain that goal, so good on me. Everybody have a great, blessed day. KD9YUZ, back to net.
All righty, thank you, Jimmy. Have a great day. Let's go to KJ5DXB Frank in Sugar Land, Texas. Good morning, Frank.
KJ5DXB, good morning to you, Al, Vicky, and everybody. Well, when I was really young, I wanted to be a garbage man. I was fascinated that they got the ride on the back of the truck and did not get in trouble. Everybody have a great day. Thanks for the check-in. KJ5DXB, back to you, Al.
All righty, thank you, Frank. Have a great day. Let's jump over to Bob in Sylvania, WD8PIC. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning. Yeah, I always wanted to be the one gentleman earlier said meteorologist, but of course you need a lot of sight for that. So, I still have a very, very, very huge interest in that. And then I wanted to be a DJ, but I had a lot of health issues as a kid, so that never materialized. But of course, that morphed into, with all my listening and everything, because of my health issues, that morphed into the ham radio that I have today. So I'm very thankful. And of course, I still have an interest in that as well. But by the way, we had some heavy rain come through here about 15, 20 minutes ago, and just to let everybody know, it's going to be hot and humid for the next whole bunch of days. Here in Sylvania, which is a western suburb of Toledo. Everybody have a great day, and back to net control. Vicky and everybody's doing a great job. WD8PIC.
All righty, thank you, Bob. Yeah, we never got that rain. I can see it off in the distance, and that's about it. Let's go to K6AAN, Mike in Valley Springs, California, checking in via text. Good morning, Mike.
And good morning to everyone on the Brew Crew. sophomore year in high school, I took a police science class and decided that's what I want to do. And my grandpa did it for 25 years. So when I got old enough, I went and did it. And I did it for 40 years and got to retire from that job. So consider myself very lucky. Back to net control. This is K6AAM.
Alrighty, thank you, Mike. Have a great day. It's always good when you can do that. Another text check-in at the bottom of this list. W2AJR, Andy in Cheektowaga. Good morning, Andy.
Good morning, Al. Morning, everybody in the Brew Crew. Sorry, I missed the question. If you could shoot it to me, that'd be great.
Well, not a problem at all. Question of the day is, when you were a child, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Well, I wanted to be an electrical engineer. That's kind of a weird thing for a little kid to want to be, but didn't end up being that, but close. Computer tech and a computer engineer, so there you go. Have a great day, everybody. 7-3. Thank you, Al.
Alrighty, thank you, Andy. Have a great day yourself. This is Al, K8BAC, along with Vicky, K8BKY. Logging for me, keep me out of trouble. Let's do general check-ins. General check-ins. Come down with your call signs, twice and slowly.
W5, DBS, Whiskey 5, Delta, Bravo, Sierra.
Kilo Delta 2, Uniform Charlie, Juliet. Kilo Delta 2, Uniform Charlie, Juliet.
November
Kilo Bravo 5, Sierra Alpha
NY1 US.
Kilo Bravo 5, Sierra Alpha Victor, in and out, please. Kilo Charlie 3, Foxtrot Golf Delta. Kilo Charlie 3, Foxtrot Golf Delta. KK40XX, that's KK40XX, in and out.
Victor Echo 3, X-Ray Tango Delta. Victor Echo 3, X-Ray Tango Delta.
Kilo Delta 2, Juliet Michael X-Ray. Kilo Delta 2, Juliet Michael X-Ray, in and out.
India, Sierra, Kilo.
Alright, that's a decent little list. First of all, let's acknowledge our in and outs. We got KD2JMX, Cary, West Babylon, New York. KK4OXX, Jonas, Miramar, Florida. KB5SAV, Jason, St. Amant, Louisiana. Thanks for sticking your head in and saying good morning, guys. Have a great day. From the bottom up, we had N2ISK Bob, Woodbridge, New Jersey. We had VE3XTD Eric, Gravenhurst, Ontario, Canada. We had KC3FGD Ray, Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania. NY1US Norm in South Wales, New York. KD2UCJ Bob, Watertown, New York. At the top of this list, we had W5DBS David in Houston, Texas. Just a reminder of the question of the day. When you were a child, what did you want to be when you grew up? W5DBS. Good morning, David.
Good morning. Good morning. I wanted to be a fireman. As a youngster, there was a fire in a vacant lot near us, and the fireman came out, and I was so pumped. And I had a little fire hat I used to wear. I wanted to do that. Didn't happen. Wound up in the insurance business. But again, guys, thanks for the Brew Crew. I love to do it every morning. This is W5DBS in Houston, Texas.
Alrighty, well, thank you for joining in, David. We really appreciate you. Let's go to KD2UCJ Bob in Watertown, New York. Good morning, Bob.
How's it going, Brew Crew? As a child, I wanted to work at Subway. Being from New Jersey, I love sandwiches, and I wanted to make them and make people happy. I did not do that. I'm working on my 17th year in the U.S. Army, but I'm glad I did this over working at Subway for many reasons. Thanks, everyone, and have a good night. KD2UCJ.
All righty, well, thank you for your service, Bob. We appreciate that. Subway it is. I would eat all the profits if I worked there. Let's go to NY1US, Norm in South Wales, New York. Good morning, Norm.
Good morning to you guys and everybody on the crew. Today, I always wanted to be a top 40 disc jockey, and I never got to do that, unfortunately. So I did, though. I volunteered for a radio. I worked there for a bit, and it's a long story, but I got fired from a volunteer job, so it's a very funny story, but not time here, so back to that. Thanks a lot, guys.
Alrighty, thank you, Norm. Got DJ for you. Let's go to KC3FGD Ray, Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania. Good morning, Ray.
Hey, good morning, Al, Vicky, everyone on the brew. Well, at a very, very young age, I was always interested in agriculture, and when I got into high school, I took college ag, and when I got into high school, in the college, I took courses in ornamental horticulture and plant science, soil science. So when I graduated, I ended up getting a job. I worked for a school system, superintendent of public works, so I was involved in maintaining the athletic field. So that knowledge came in very handy, especially the football field. And I'm doing it right here in the Masonic Village. I'm in charge of the resident garden. So that knowledge came in very, very handy. Hey, everyone, have a wonderful day. Turn it back to Al at Net Control.
All right, thank you, Ray. Just came in from the garden myself. I'm about to have a bumper crop of tomatoes any day now. Let's go down to VE3XTD Eric in Gravenhurst, Ontario, Canada. Good morning, Eric.
Good morning, Al. Good morning, Vicky. Good morning, everybody. When I was a little man, I wanted to be a cowboy, but I ended up in the fire department. So it wasn't the whole career, but the entire career was close to that in emergency services. Back to you.
All righty, thank you, Eric. Should have been a cowboy. We got you down for that. Let's go to N2ISK Bob, Woodbridge, New Jersey. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Brew Crew. Yeah, well, I have to say, the early days I wanted to be a radio station broadcasting engineer. We even tried in junior high school, tried to get himself in a little local 5,000 watt station here, but it was just a one-horse operation. So, yeah, the only other things really, we had to be self-sufficient back in the 50s. So I learned a huge amount of things. Well, my other interest was aircraft, any involvement with aircraft or any involvement with aircraft, pilot or otherwise. And, well, I just kind of grew old, never grew up, not even now. I ended up in a computer business with Impala and other companies. So, there you go. Have a good day. Enjoy, Jay.
Alrighty, thank you, Bob. Have a great day yourself. Got a couple of text check-ins here. We got KK7 ZSH Jason in Milwaukee, Oregon. KQ8U Bob in Ecorse, Michigan. Let's go to Bob. KQ8U Bob, when you were a child, what did you want to be when you grew up? Morning.
Morning, Al, Vicky, and the rest of the crew. When I was a child, I want to be a scientist. And then as I got a teenager, I want to be a mechanic, so it kind of went all over the place. Everybody have a good day. KQ8U, back to that.
Alrighty, thank you, Bob. Yeah, I sort of dropped into the mechanic thing by accident because my dad was one, but got back out of it, and now I just run garages. Let's go to KK7 ZSH Jason, Milwaukee, Oregon. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning, Al. Good morning, Vicky. Good morning to everybody on the Brew Crew. I hope everybody's having a great day. As a kid, I wanted to be a fighter. Never had the eyesight for it. Did go into the Air Force, but didn't get to do the whole fighter pilot thing. And, enjoyed my time in the Air Force immensely. It was great. 23 years, it was awesome. But yeah, didn't get to do the whole fighter pilot thing. Got to fly around a lot, but not a pilot. Anyway, 73 to all, KK7 ZSH.
Alrighty, thank you, Jason. Yep, man, same here. My uncle flew in Vietnam, and I always wanted to do that too. He used to take me up in the planes, and we would do crazy things. But I'm like you. I can't see the end of my nose, so that never materialized. Let's go to M7TLB, Dave in Conisborough, England, checking in via the text line. Good morning, Dave.
Yeah, good morning, Al. Good morning, Vicky, and everybody on the Brew Crew. Hope you're having a great day so far. When I was growing up, I wanted to be a teacher. My dad was a teacher in his early career. And it's just something that always appealed to me. In fact, if the opportunity came along, I would probably still do it now. 7-3 all, have a great one. Mike 7 Tango Lima Bravo, back to net.
Alrighty, thank you, Dave. Have a great day. Enjoy. That's evening for you, so enjoy. I've got a couple more text check-ins. W4RHC Ariel, Alachua, Florida. KN0LZE Todd, Redstone Arsenal, Alabama. Let's go to KN0LZE. Good morning, Todd.
Good morning, everyone. This is Todd, KN0LZE. When I was growing up, I always wanted to be a cowboy or a cattle rancher, but it turns out I'm allergic to horses, so I became a policeman. When I became a policeman, I wanted to be a SWAT guy, but I had asthma. Then I thought I wanted to be a canine handler, and I'm allergic to dogs. So then I became a bomb disposal technician. And now that I'm retired, I'm an instructor. 73, everyone. Have a great day.
Well, I'd say if you retired from being bomb disposal, you've done pretty good. So, all right, we got you down for a rancher. Let's go to W4RHC Ariel, Alachua, Florida. Good morning, Ariel. Yep, I think Ariel is out of range, so maybe recheck if you get a chance, Ariel, if you can hear me. So, one more text check in. Got K2EPM Ed in Bethpage, New York. Good morning, Ed.
Good morning. Yeah, when I K2EPM. When I was younger, I wanted to be a policeman. And then found out I had a congenital heart valve problem. And wandered off for a while, but then wound up getting myself a position as auto parts counter person at a large municipal police department fleet maintenance facility. And I worked my way up to supervisor. We make sure all the police cars stay on the road. We got a fleet of close to 700 cars. And looking forward to retirement in a couple of years. It's K2ETM back to head control.
Alrighty, thank you, Ed. Have a great day. Takes us down to the bottom of the list. Let's start another. General check-ins. This is Al, KABAC. Along with Vicky, KE8BKY. I think Scott's going to jump in here and take over for Vicky Logan. That'll be fun. So let's take general check-ins. Come to your call signs twice and slowly.
Bravo, Delta, Kilo, I2, Bravo, Delta, Oscar, Mobile, Alpha 5, Juliet, Whiskey, Mobile. Delta, Whiskey 3, Hotel Lima, India.
K9 SHT, Bruce, Port St. Lucie, Florida.
Delta, Whiskey 3, Hotel Lima, India.
Go Golf Oscar, Mobile.
Kilo Juliet 5, India Mike Whiskey. Kilo Juliet 5, India Mike Whiskey.
Kilo, Kit Mokala.
All right, let's hold it up right there for a moment because we had a whole bunch of doubles, triples, and maybe even a couple of quadruples in there. I'm going to tell you who we got. Of course, checking in via text, we got KC2JPQ. We got KJ5, IMW Robert, Houston, Texas. There was a call sign with EGO on it. If you've got a call sign with EGO, come back with your call sign, please.
Foxtrot 8, Echo Golf Oscar, KF8, EGO, Chris, Mobile.
All right, we got you, Chris. We also had K9 SHT Bruce, Port St. Lucie, Florida. We had DW3 HLI Henry. In the Philippines, we had AA5 JW James in Spring, Texas. Then we had another one. There was a big pile up, but we caught 2 BDO on that. So if you've got BDO on your call sign, come back with your call sign twice and slowly.
Kilo Echo 2, Bravo, Delta Oscar. Kilo Echo 2, Bravo, Delta Oscar, Mobile.
All right, we got you, Richard, in Schuler Falls, New York. I know there was a whole bunch of doubles and triples, so if I didn't call you that time, space it out, guys. Come with your call signs twice and slowly.
Control, this is Kilo Echo 4 Zulu Yankee Quebec. Kilo Echo 4 Zulu Yankee Quebec.
Net Control, this is KQ4 EYF Kilo Quebec 4 Papa Yankee Foxtrot Eli, Kinston, North Carolina.
Oscar 4, Foxtrot, Bravo Mike. Kilo Oscar 4, Foxtrot, Bravo Mike. Whiskey 2, Echo Mike. W2, EM, Mobile.
Quebec Tango, Kilo Charlie 0, Delta Quebec Tango.
Kilo Echo 4 Zulu Yankee Quebec. Kilo Echo 4 Zulu Yankee Quebec.
Kilo Juliet 5, Hotel Mike Uniform. Kilo Juliet 5, Hotel Mike Uniform.
right. I think we've got that. The Echo Yankee Quebec station, I think we lost you. What was your call sign again?
Net control for the third time, Kilo Echo 4, Zulu Yankee Quebec. Kilo Echo 4, Zulu Yankee Quebec. Roger.
All right, yep, we do have you, Joe. We do have you. I didn't see you. You were on up the list. All right. I think we straightened that all out. Checking in via text, we had AD2KP, Stephen, Brooklyn, New York. KJ5HMU, Owens Spring, Texas. KC0DQT, Phillip, Grove, Oklahoma. Had some mobile stations. We had W2EM, Chuck, in Lancaster, New York. We had KO4FBM, Jose, St. Cloud, Florida. We'll be back to you guys in just a second. We had KQ4PYF, Eli in Kingston, North Carolina. KE4ZYQ, Joe in Clinton Township, Michigan. W8ROY, Roy in Livonia, Michigan. And we got the rest. So let's knock these mobiles off real quick here. Reminder, question of the day is, when you were a child, what did you want to be when you grew up? Let's go to KE2BDO, Richard in Schuler Falls, New York. Good morning, Richard.
Good morning to all on the brew. This is KE2BDO. I think when I was a kid, I wanted to be the dictator of a third world country. I'm not quite there yet. I'm still working on it. So everybody have a great day. 7-3.
Well, sometimes raising kids, you start feeling that way. All right, have a good day, Richard. Let's go to AA5JW, James in Spring, Texas. Good morning, James.
Well, good morning, Brew Crew. This is Alpha 5 Juliet Whiskey Mobile, James Mobile and North, out away from Houston today for work, and I'm really happy about it. It's going to be another hot one down here. But they're supposed to get some rain, maybe on the weekend. We'll see what happens. To the question at hand, when I was a child, I wanted to be an airline pilot, and then as I got older, I decided I really didn't want to do that anymore. And at this point, I don't even know what I want to be when I grow up, because I think I'm going to stay a kid at heart forever. With that, I'll say 7-3, hand it back to Nat. Everybody have a blessed day and stay safe out there. This is Alpha 5 Juliet Whiskey Mobile. We'll be monitoring.
All right, thank you, James. Yep, according to my wife, I have to grow up first. All right, let's get our other mobile stations in here. KF8EGO, Chris in Perrysburg, Ohio. Good morning.
Everybody, this is Chris, KF8EGO. When I was a kid, my father was a pilot, so I thought I wanted to grow up to be a pilot and realized I really don't like heights very much. So I settled on going to medical school instead, but worked out for me. So I hope everyone has a good day, and I'll send it back to Nat, KF8EGO.
All righty, thank you, Chris. Have a great day, sir. Let's go to KO4FBM, Jose in St. Cloud, Florida. Good morning, Jose.
Good morning, I'm Vicky and the rest of the Morning Brew. When I was a kid, I always wanted to be a soldier, and I did it. I did it for many years, retire, and never thought I would become a...
Jose, you were at the end of your thread there. We lost you at the end there. You have a great day. Thanks for checking in this morning. Let's go down to Chuck, W2EM in Lancaster, New York. Morning, Chuck.
Good morning, Al, Vicky, and the rest of the Brew Crew. Yeah, when I was a child, I wanted to be a farmer like my grandfather. And then later on, I was going to go in for chemical engineering. But I got sidetracked and ended up in the family business and spent 51 years running a funeral home as a funeral director. So that's where you wind up. So anyway, he had a good career there. So back to Nat, W2EM.
All right, thank you, Chuck. Have a great day. All right, let's go down through the rest of this list now that we got the mobile stations all taken care of. Let's go to DW3HLI, Henry in the Philippines. Good morning, Henry. Well, good evening for you.
QSL, likewise, good morning. Good evening from the Philippines. When I was a child, I wanted to join the army, but my parents don't want me to become a soldier. So when I graduated from college, I worked at a telecommunications company as a telecommunications engineer. By the way, I finished electronics engineering here in the Philippines. Back to you, Control 73.
Alrighty, thank you for joining us, Henry. Have a great evening over there. Enjoy. Let's go to Bruce, Port St. Lucie, Florida, K9SHT. Good morning, Bruce.
Evening, good day, everybody in the net. Good evening as well, apparently. K9SHT, Bruce, Port St. Lucie. Boy, this is a thought-provoking question you came up with. And I guess the answer is I've really never had much of anything I wanted to be when I was growing up. I was more like an NPC, not playing character in these video games, till about 8 days before I graduated from high school. The band was putting on a fundraiser. This director got called out for emergency. He looked at the seniors, all the great people that was working with the year, and said, okay, you know what to do to set up for this fundraiser. As soon as he left, they said, well, good, we'll take the day off. You guys are on your own. And I was left with freshmen, juniors, and sophomores, and only senior left. And I found out I had leadership skill, and also taught them how to do things, to get things done correctly. And I decided to become a school teacher, industrial arts, non-academic, and served me well, because after 45 years, I finally retired, and just about every school I've been to, I walked in, there was not much for the kids to do, because the people before me didn't do much of anything, and I created so many programs and for the students to learn about skills in life and jobs and things like that, yeah, I feel like I found my place, and so happy that I found it. So back next show, K9S60.
Alrighty, well, thank you, Bruce. Sounds like an interesting life. Have a great day. Let's go down to KJ5IMW, Robert, Houston, Texas. Good morning, Robert.
Good morning, boosters, and all the people on the root crew. Want to be a cross-trained firefighter paramedic, and I lived my dream for 45 years. So, that was it. 7 P's back to net control, KJ5, IMW.
Alrighty, thank you, Robert. It's always good when you can fulfill your dreams. This is Al, K8BAC, along with Scott, W2BLT, logging for me now. Vicky had to jet out of here. Let's go to Frank, KC2JPQ in Lancaster, New York. Hello, Frank.
Good morning, Al, and everybody on the brew. When I was a kid growing up, I wanted to build houses and be in construction, like a carpenter like that, and didn't work out. But anyhow, everybody have a great day. I'll send it back to the net, KC2JPQ.
All righty, thank you, Frank. Have a great day. Let's go to W8ROY, Roy in Livonia, Michigan. Good morning, Roy.
W8ROY mobiling to that place. You know, I don't remember ever wanting to do anything specific for my life, but I spent 36 years in the medical field, and now I'm in my 18th year of law enforcement, so figure out in the middle there how things worked out. I don't know, go figure, but it's working. So everybody have a wonderful day, and stay dry. W8ROY.
All righty, thank you, Roy. Have a great day yourself. Let's go to KE4ZYQ, Joe, Clinton Township, Michigan. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning to all on the brew and the brew crew from KE4ZYQ. Yeah, when I was younger, very young, in my family of 6 kids, counting myself, I thought I would want to be a fireman. My dad was a fireman, so I thought I might do that. But when I got older, I got into maintenance in a hospital, and the opening for physical therapy opened up. My boss said, hey, you could do good in physical therapy, so I did. And I finally got my degree in physical therapy, and out of 40 years of healthcare working at PT, I retired. And when I retired, I thought, hey, I wonder how many people needed. So I took a calculator and figured out about 112,000 people in 40 years. The University of Michigan Stadium, college football stadium, holds 115. 3,000 less than the stadium. I know why I'm tired. Back to net. KE4ZYQ.
All righty, thank you, Joe. Yep, actually, the stadium now holds 130,000, and I work in the back parking lot. Let's go to KQ4PYF, Elijah in Kingston, North Carolina. Hello, Eli.
Good morning, Al, and everybody on the Brew Crew. Hope everyone has a good day. Well, let's see. When I was growing up, I ain't but 28, so I feel like I'm still growing up. But when I was growing up, I always wanted to be a fireman, and, well, I did that, and I'm actually doing it volunteer. But I am working for my family's pest control company full-time, running route, and been doing it for the past 8 years, and been loving it. So that's about it. I'm going to turn it back over to Ned. Good morning, everybody in the Brew Crew. KQ4PYF, clear.
All righty, thank you, Eli. Yep, no shortage of business when you're in pest management. That's what my son does. Been doing it since right out of high school, and he's still going strong, and he's 32 now. Let's go to KC0DQT, Philip, Grove, Oklahoma. Good morning, Philip.
Good morning, y'all. Holy smokes, you got a big net going on here. Well, when I was growing up, I always wanted to be Superman. Of course, that's not being realistic, but the next thing was being a police officer, and I actually got to do it for about 3 years until I realized what it was all wrong. Anyway, other than that, good morning, all, and 73 to everybody. KC0DQT. Back to me.
All righty, thank you, Philip. And yes, this net has really grown. I remember when it was first starting out, happy to get 50 people on the entire net. Now look at it. All right, let's go to KJ5HMU, Owen in Spring, Texas. Good morning, Owen.
Well, for me, I would say my answer to the question, since I am still a minor and I'm still in my process of childhood and growing up, I remember whenever I was way younger and I was looking up to my dad and saying, I want to work for your company. And not really his company, but the one he worked for. And then recently his company got bought out by Exxon, and now I guess if I wanted to still do that, I would have to work for Exxon. But he's happy, and I think that's a really cool job, so maybe try that out. Being a biomedical engineer for a company who does gas stuff is interesting. He actually works as an analyst for Exxon, so I think that's really cool. KG5HMU, back to net.
All right, an analyst for gas for Exxon. Thanks for joining in this morning, Owen. Have a great day. All right, we got some text check-ins. We got W5BEO, Doug in Lubbock, Texas. We got WA8CLG, Doug in Homosassa, Florida. We got KY4NB, Scott, Memphis, Tennessee. We got KJ4LXJ, Rex, Crystal River, Florida. And AD2KP, Stephen in Brooklyn, New York. Looks like W5MHG, Mark in Albuquerque joined the party too. Let's see if we can get a good list going. Let's take some more check-ins. General check-ins. Come with your call signs, twice and slowly.
This is Kilo Bravo 8, Papa Lima Victor, Kilo Bravo 8, Papa Lima Victor, Chris.
This is KQ4 UWF, Kilo Quebec 4, Uniform Whiskey Foxtrot, Brad, St. Petersburg.
November Whiskey 3 United, NW3U.
KD2 IWM, KD2 IWM. W2 KJV, W2 KJV, in and out today. Good morning. Kilo Alpha 5, Gulf Sierra Sierra, KA5 GSS.
Whiskey Quebec 8 Papa, Whiskey Quebec 8 Papa, mobile, in and out.
N8GHY, N8GHY, in and out. Morning, everyone.
All right, that's a pretty good list here. Let's acknowledge our in and out stations. We had N8GHY Thomas in Perrysburg, WQ8P Nathaniel in Orlando, Florida, and we had W2KJV Tony in Homosassa, Florida. They were all in and out. I'd like to thank you for checking in, guys. Have a great day. Going up the list, looks like Carlos just checked in, N1CBM, Hollywood, Florida. We had KA5GSS Shane in Beaumont, Texas. We had KD2IWN Tim in Hamburg, New York. NW3U David in Garner, North Carolina. KQ4 UWF Brad, St. Petersburg, Florida. KB8 PLV Chris in Novi, Michigan. We had K4ITA Leo, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. All right, that's a pretty good list. Let's jump up to the top and run it. Question of the day. When you were a child, what did you want to be when you grew up? AD2KP, Stephen in Brooklyn, New York. Good morning.
The Brew Crew, I wanted to be an astronaut. And I hope everyone has a fantastic day. This is 82KP, back to net control.
All righty, astronaut it is. Thank you, Stephen. Let's go to KJ4LXJ Rex, Crystal River, Florida. Good morning, Rex.
Good morning to you and the Brew Crew. We're coming to you from Grand Marsh, Wisconsin this morning, continuing on our vacation. I wanted to be a airline pilot or a pilot. That didn't work out, but like the fellow in the Philippines there, I joined the military and got into telecommunications, which I retired at, and then retired from the local phone company. KJ4LXJ, back to the net.
All righty, Rex. That sounds like a good career. Enjoy Wisconsin. It's kind of a second home to me. I got a lot of relatives in the Wisconsin area. Let's go to KY4NB Scott, Memphis. Morning, Scott.
Now everybody on the Brother Randall, he's listening there. Thanks to everybody behind the scenes today for all their work. Well, I'm going to say yes. My dad was a teacher, and I made a teacher finally after another career before that in rehab. Kind of like the physical therapy gentleman there with cardiac rehab. Started out with that and teaching now. But anyway, I really wanted to be a famous chef, so if I could have a dream job, and then I'd own the restaurant and could just eat there. And no, it would not have to be a barbecue restaurant. I would want something with some variety, not just barbecue all the time. Hi. Back over to you, Al. KY4NB, back to net. 7-3's all.
Scott, I'd rethink that. You know, just having a restaurant with Elvis and barbecue, that's the theme. I would eat there all the time. All right, thanks for checking in, man. WA8CLG, Doug in Homosassa. Good morning.
This is WA8CLG. Very good morning, everybody. Well, I wanted to be a race car driver when I was young, and then the time came when I got my driver's license. It wasn't too long after that a couple of policemen in the city of Detroit convinced me that I could not practice on the city streets, so I had to give that up. So that's my story. Everybody have a good one. WA8CLG. Back to you, Al.
All righty, thank you, Doug. Yeah, I understand that 100%. And nowadays, you can't tell who's racing and who's just driving in Detroit. W5, VEO, Doug in Lubbock, Texas. Good morning. W5, VEO, Doug, you still with us? All righty, here, nothing. Let's jump down to Mark and Gracie. W5MHG. Good morning, Mark.
Oh, good morning, W5MHG. And Gracie says, bow wow, yippee-yay from Albuquerque with, let's see, 68 degrees in the backyard. I wanted to be an astronaut, just like the other gentleman with the Apollo and landing on the moon and all of that. Gracie just wanted to be a beagle, but she ended up being a golden retriever. Thanks to Vicky for putting everything up for us, and we love that text line. W5MHG 73.
All righty, thank you, Mark. Have a great day. Give Gracie an extra treat for me. You had a little noise going on there. I don't know what that was about, but maybe get that fixed. Have a great day, though. Let's go to K4ITA Leo, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Good morning, Leo.
Good morning, all. Good morning from the beautiful Fort Lauderdale. 89 degrees at this time, less humidity, beautiful day. I hope you can hear me well. I'm mobile today, and when I was a kid, I wanted to be a pilot. Then at 14, I was in Italy at the time, and at 14-year-old, I discovered radio and computers, and then I went with the radio and computers. Have a great day, everybody. K4ITA.
All righty, thank you, Leo. Thanks for checking in this morning. Let's go to Novi, Michigan, KB8PLV. Good morning, Chris. KB8PLV, Chris, you still with me? Yeah, we'll mark him in and out. He can recheck if he needs to. Let's go to KQ4 UWF, Brad, St. Petersburg, Florida. Good morning, Brad.
Good morning to all from St. Petersburg, Florida. Yeah, when I was a kid, I lived in the country. I wanted to be I'm an astronomer. I'm KQ4 UWF.
All right, astronomy. That's a good one. We'll get that in there. Thanks for checking in this morning. Let's go to NW3U, David, Garner, North Carolina. Good morning, David.
Good morning from rainy North Carolina, NW3U here. When I was a kid growing up, the interest was in electronic. My dad had a big Lionel train setup. We used to set it up just for Christmas, but it was a lot of wiring involved in switches and equipment, stuff like that. And I think that sparked the interest in electronics and wiring, which I was lucky enough when I enlisted in the Air Force. My scores were high enough in electronics that I got into precision equipment repair and calibration, working in a laboratory condition, and then that transitioned over to computers when I got out of the service. with state emergency management. So all in all, it's been a pretty good life job wise. Appreciate you doing that. Good to hear everybody. We're going to get out the water wings here and hope we don't float away. 73's NW3U.
All righty, thank you, David. Have a great day. Let's go to KD2 IWN. Tim in Hamburg, New York. Good morning, Tim.
Good morning, Al and Vicki and everybody on the brew crew this morning. I'm sorry, I'm being... Okay. Sorry I got sidetracked there. I'm in the lab. When I was a kid, in the 70s, I wanted to be a DJ. And also with TV at its height, I also wanted to be a truck driver so I could talk on the TV. But I ended up in the electronics industry for the past 33 years, making, I'm an environmental lab supervisor now, making bunkers here, and I'm enjoying it. 73 all, enjoy the rest of your day, KD2 IWN.
All righty, thank you, Tim. Have a great day. Let's go to KA5 GSS. Shane in Beaumont. Morning, Shane.
Good morning now, this is KA5GSS. I guess I wanted to be a professional football player as much as I liked football back when I was a kid. And I still like it. Never did have the dream come true, but, you know, that's the way the cookie crumbles, right? Hope everybody has a great day. KA5GSS, back to net control. 73 out.
All right, thank you, Shane. Have a great day. Let's go to our aeronautical net controller, N1CBM, Carlos in Hollywood, Florida. Good morning, Carlos.
Good morning, Al and Scott on the log. Well, this is a good conning crew right there in the morning brew today. And everybody else, have a great morning. Wednesday down here in Fort Lauderdale. Beautiful day, 89, and it's a great day for flying, as I would put it. Since I was a kid, I was mesmerized by flight. So having a few family members being pilots, I guess the direction for me was pretty clear from the get-go. I got exposed early on, and I even do RC airplanes, build them and fly them and repair them when I break them. And I'm here. Some people say that if you do what you like, you'll never work a day in your life. So that's what I'm doing right now, enjoying flying and having fun. N1CBM, back to you, Al. Thanks for taking my check-in. Good morning.
All righty, thank you, Carlos. Have a great day. We got 10 check-ins. Let's get those guys. KJ5HWW, David in Baytown, Texas. Good morning, David. When you were a child, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Good morning, Brew Crew. Yeah, whenever I was a kid, I wanted to be a fireman, and eventually went to school and everything and became a fireman. So about 23 years now.
All right, fireman it is. Well, if that's what you wanted to be, then you done good. All right, let's go to K5YNU, Florida in Conroe, Texas. Good morning.
Good morning, Al, Vicky, everyone on the Morning Brew crew. I wanted to be a police officer, believe it or not. Back to the 85YNU. Have a blessed one, 73.
All righty, thank you, Florida. Have a great day. Policeman it is. And finally, wrapping up this edition of the Morning Brew, N1WEB Webb in Collierville, Tennessee. Good morning, Webb.
Good morning, and thank you. I had to squeak in here, and it looks like I just barely made it. Put me down as a fireman. I'm not really sure what I wanted to do, but fireman or policeman or working in an office, but I think fireman came first. Have a great day, everybody. N1WEB.
All righty, thank you, Webb. Have a great day. Now, on that note, we're going to wrap it up, guys. This is Al, K8BAC, along with Scott, W2BLT, Vicky's off and running this morning, KE8BKY, and Dick, WB2JPQ. We'd like to thank each and every one of you for checking into the Morning Brew, and we now return to East Coast Reflector to normal amateur radio use. 73s, everybody.